Mic check. Okay. All right. I'm serious now. I mean business. Gotta fix the flurries. What's with this? Okay. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. My name is June Ohana. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to June Ohana's channel. That's me, alias me. But I just don't, this isn't. What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. My name is June Ohana. Feel free to click like and subscribe down below if you like what you hear today. I wanted to give an introduction because this is my first YouTube video on this platform. So my name is June. That's my alias, actually. I'm a mom of 3. My kids are getting quite older right now. They're climbing up, and I'm also an educator, so I'm an art teacher. I've been an art teacher for close to a decade, and prior to that, I was actually in the digital marketing and graphic design world. I recently did just publish a book, and we'll get into that a little later. And I was a digital marketer back in the early 2000s when it didn't really mean what it means now, and I wasn't really good at it, to be honest. So I really enjoyed being on my feet, not in front of the computer, so I decided to jump ship and switch over to a schedule that fit my kids' schedule, which was teaching art. However, nowadays, I'm getting older, and so are my kids, and I think I'm ready to jump back into things. Plus, I'm really interested in making some passive income and teaching my kids alternative ways to grow money on their own and not be the brick and mortar way, if you know what I'm saying. So that's my goal here. So then I decided to go on a venture and start researching online ways that I could generate passive income. And I'm sure y'all have fallen into the rabbit hole of that algorithm, right? I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Excuse me. I know. Dinosaur! But anywho, all right. So I started getting attacked, bombarded, overwhelmed, overstimulated by a bunch of, get rich quick kind of algorithm-y things going on. So one of the things, of course, is print on demand. That was a real big one that kept popping up in my face. AI stuff was starting to show up, and I got really excited about AI. And you know what? I really am happy about what AI has to give us creators the opportunity to do things. And I know some people are very intimidated by that, but I think with my brain and the way I work, it actually benefits me. And I also looked at different things like, what is it, the MMR, and coaching programs and multi-family flipping houses and stuff. I went to a meeting for that. I actually did try to take my real estate exam. I passed my 40-hour course. However, I am still work in progress, if you know what I mean. I'm on round 3. Then after that, hats off to you, real estate. It just wasn't meant to be. All right, so judge me there. I guess it clearly indicates what kind of brain I have. It's not one that sits still, and I'm not a person that likes to sit still either. I'm not a test taker. I'm not the kind of person that usually has the patience to do things. So here I am at 41 years old, trying to figure all these things out so that I can find a way to generate passive income. But the cool thing is now I have a little bit more self-discipline than I did when I was in my 20s. Now I'm super inspired by a lot of these millennials who are just crushing it in the digital world. So hats off to you. And you're my inspiration for my kids and my students. So needless to say, I started off with Printify. I started creating and designing in Canva, making patterns and creating in Procreate. And I actually had a lot of fun doing that because, well, I love to create art and I love to make fun things. However, Printify is a little steep on those shipping fees. And I did create an Etsy account, but then I was like totally harassed by some really scary fake Etsy accounts, telling me that like they're gonna shut my account down if I don't send my banking information and sell my soul to them immediately. And that really creeped me out. So eventually, after getting so bombarded and contacting Etsy and asking why I was getting so harassed, I decided to jump ship. So I shut the Etsy account down, but I still have my Printify link. So I have a link tree on my Instagram account, and now I have a Printify. Cool. I ordered one sweatshirt. It took forever. I got it right before Valentine's Day, and it was a Valentine's themed shirt. So I've made one sale. And that one sale is obviously me. And I profited $7.95 from a, what was it? It was $68 sweatshirt, which the material is really nice. And it actually turned out really, really cool. I was kind of annoyed with how long it took, but it's print on demand and coming from China probably, I don't know. So, and I should probably know more about the knowledge of like where it's being shipped and stuff, but I really was just testing my wheels and like playing with different arenas to see what kind of reactions and responses I would get from the audience I've already built on Instagram as an art educator. So I got some responses. They were positive, but no bites. Like nobody really wanted to do anything there. So I was like, all right, back to the drawing board. So then I looked into those MRR, MRM things. I'm still really intrigued by like some of the strategies they might have to offer. However, I think a lot of them are becoming outdated, and basically everybody seems to be a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy. It's kind of like the Matrix, you know? So I decided that I didn't really want to delve into buying somebody's copied material. I want to learn it for myself and build it and make it unique for me because not everybody's the same box. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not all the same fingerprint, so to speak. I don't know, but now you can clone. It's possible. So, anywho, I decided that I don't know. I'm actually going to interview with a friend of mine that does it. She just jumped into it. So we're supposed to have brunch on Thursday, and it's Tuesday today. So maybe I keep you up on that next week. I will be eager to commit to myself to posting once a week. So this is my first week, and then I'll do next week, and hopefully I can stay committed. All right, so my journey with that MRR thing is, it sounds like it's a quick get rich scheme if you like hit the algorithm just right and you get enough followers and people like what you're putting out there and you get enough people to click and grab, but then they're mimicking you. And I don't know, that's just not to me like what my heart is set on when it comes to passive income. I want something a little more authentic. So then I decided that I was gonna maybe just check out this multifamily business thing that I got looked into. It kind of popped up in my face again on my algorithmic feed, and it was a local convention that occurred at a hotel not too far from me on a Saturday morning. So I was like, why not? We'll just go and see. I'm at this point a sponge. I'm just soaking up information everywhere I go, picking and choosing what I find to be, actually useful information, and a lot of it just, the sales pitch. So I went there. I definitely felt self-pitched, and there was a lot of people that went flocking to go immediately sign off the red print on them to basically give away $1,400 to this multi-level program that apparently will give you this software that will generate and negotiate things, but they don't really promise on investors, and it's like a multifamily home thing that you're flipping and you get like a small percentage and they get a big chunk, and I don't know, no offense, it felt a little yucky. So I decided that's not my jam either. And plus, I didn't even get my real estate license anyway. So if I was going to do that, I would wait until I pass it, which I'm going to very, very soon. Okay. All right. Next up was a chatbot. So I started talking to this guy online, of course, about their opportunity to learn how to build chatbots and sell these chatbots to local places, right? Local commercial businesses, blah, blah, blah. I spent a good hour talking to this guy named Lee. He was awesome, okay? He was a cool guy. He really genuinely cared about me. Like, I felt the love, all right? Like, we connected. And it was interesting, though, because Lee kind of gave me a little bit of my own smell. That's a really bad, I don't even know what to call that. But anywho, he kind of gave me a direction that wasn't the direction he was probably wanting to lead me into. But I started talking about my book, and I started talking about how I was published my book in KDP, and he's like, why don't you just keep doing that? And I don't know why. I've always done that in life where I have this golden opportunity, but because it's not like completely the end all results immediately, I'm like, or I think it's just because I get nervous and like I lose my confidence, or I don't feel like I might profit enough from that. So really, I think that my real core was like saying like, oh, I can't make enough money off of that, like blah, 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 whatever. And so when I got off the phone with Lee about the chatbots, I realized that chatbots weren't my thing either. However, chatbots are pretty cool, and you could probably do a lot, selling freelance, whatever. But I know they're on Fiverr, that account where you can like make pretty things and buy them off people like me that used to make graphic design art. You can get one for pretty cheap and pretty quickly. So I don't know how well and lucrative that business is. I think that the course is probably making more profit than you would as a chatbot builder unless you became a guru. So, but I think that's with everything anyway. It's all in what you want what you like. And I think that's where like a lot of people might get misled, is like, we all think we just want the wham bam, but really we need to find what fits for us, right? And I think that's where we all get a little confused. And so I also looked into coaching. So I was like, oh my gosh, you know what? I love encouraging people. I'm a person that loves to help other people before I help myself, right? Like completely one of those people that's just like, oh, never mind about me. I'll make you amazing. Yeah, I love to do that for people. Hence, I love working with students and I love like, cheering them on, making them amazing artists and my kids. And I always feel like I'm pouring out my bucket to everybody else. But this year I'm focusing more on being fruitful to me too. So it's been really, really beneficial to do that and just take time for me. And I'm really learning how to do that a little bit more every year as I age. So before I know it, my kids are going to be gone and I'm going to be forced to face it anyway, right? They're not going to be gone, but they're going to be hopefully moving out of the house before, all that old stuff happens. But so needless to say, I thought art coaching would be amazing. I actually like interviewed with an art coach for myself. And I was like, oh, I kind of like what they're doing, but I don't really like how they're doing it to me. Like, I think I could honestly do even a better job at this. I just think that, a lot of the creatives aren't so serious, like maybe she can find the serious people, but I'm not one of those. And I think the people that really need the coaching are people like me. Not super hardcore. Oh my gosh, I'm a dork. Really, I can't post this. All right. So, anywho, I really enjoyed what they had out there, but once again, she was one that was just popping up all over my feed, clearly paying for ads. And then I got to learn, obviously, about how ads are being made, how to market myself, and all of this. And I'll get more into that later. I'm not going to get jumpy. I get jumpy. Boing, boing, boing. All right. So, the last thing that I'm going to conclude is obviously I published a book. So that was like one of the first things I did. I'm going to pop some of the people that I learned from down below that were really helpful. And I kind of just really, it didn't overwhelm me. You know what I mean? Like it was simplistic. And I had this idea for a book for a really, really long time. I love coming up with book ideas. My son and I, every night, we come up with book stories. Like I tell him, tell me a person, place, or thing, like in a noun. And then I embellish in that story and he adds on to it. And we just have fun creating our own stories all the time. So I was like, gosh, you know what? Like I really wanted to write this book for my kids in my class because they don't understand the rainbow. They think it's like Roy G. Biv or Roy G. Bip. And it's really confusing, right? Because we have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. But a lot of the kids nowadays with the younger friends, they say purple because a lot of the time the songs might say purple or, Crayon's got purple markers and it gets really confusing. So I was like, what if I wrote a story to break that down, to get them to understand the color scheme? And I did. So I did. And I'm going to totally confess that I had ChatGPT help me because I'm not a really well-written human being, and once again, dinosaur, like it's been a long time. And now like we have phones that think for us. And I've never been grammatically perfect. And that was one of my biggest struggles as a graphic designer. So I decided to rely on ChatGPT for that, and it was amazing. And it really, really just kind of like broke open that like wall of defeat for me and say, oh, I can do this. And I have a friend now, and it's a robot, and it's going to help me by giving me feedback on what it is that I'm trying to reach for that I'm having a hard time putting into a full presentable piece, right? So that's what I did. And I love it. And it's simple, but it really brings in a whole bunch of color theory without even my intention. And I appreciate the computer for helping me on a lot of it. But most of the rhyming words, the story, the storyline, everything about it was all my doing. I'm going to take credit. Sorry. Sorry, GGT. It helped me with some rhyming words. It helped me with how to fit the story together. And that's really what I needed. So that was phenomenal. So that was awesome. And then I learned that a lot of people are doing these like QuickBooks. I call them QuickBooks, not real QuickBooks. Nobody wants to mess with QuickBooks, right? Not me, at least. That's not my thing. All right. But as far as making books, people are just like punching out these like journals and blank pages and coloring books. And I'm like, really? Like, are they really making money out of that? I'm like, that's going to get oversaturated so fast. Like all this, like, because there's so many like popping up about it. And so I was like, you know what? Like, I genuinely enjoy writing this children's book, and like it actually has something in it. So yeah, there's GPT in it, but I mean, it's a story, and my kids are learning like from it like crazy in my classroom. So well done to me. Okay. So I'm very proud of that book. And I realized that I want to make more, and I want to make a series, and I want to do like a whole bunch of different ideas with it. That's my other problem as a creator. I feel like a lot of us have problems with, I have a multitude of ideas. Like if I could just sell my ideas all day, I would. Maybe I cannot hear, I don't know. But I mean, every day I'm like, ooh, you could do this, or you could do that, or you could do this, or you could do that, or you could do this, or you could do that. Like literally all day. And I'm like, every single one of them is like a really, really smart idea, or it's already been done. Because then I Google it. I'm like, ah, look, they're doing it. Ah, look, there it is. Yeah, my idea was a little different, but they're pretty much on point. So I love that. I love that I come up with ideas. But that idea brain's got to calm down, because I need to focus if I want to generate some genuine income, right? Like I don't want to just be all scattered all the time, which is really easy for me to do. So, needless to say, I'm going to narrow down myself. I'm going to focus, and I'm going to make a little spreadsheet or a little thingamabobber for me to, a little guideline of how to not be scattered. And maybe I put that down in the links below when I'm ready to not be scattered and put that in there. So, moving on. The last thing here that I want to round my little spiel up with, because I'm already moving into quite a bit of chatter, is my responses. So let's talk about sales results, what I have right now with my KDP book. I started off with just like a very simplistic, like white with like paint splatter book cover. And inside of it, first I had this character in mind, and I want to do all these complex things. And then I realized I don't even want to do that. Like, I just want to get this book out there. Like, I just need to do this. Like, something in me was just like, just go. Like, who cares, right? Like, just spit it out. So I did. And when I did it, I was like, it's perfect. Like, I really don't, like, sometimes, like, less is more, And when it comes to kids, it really is. You could give a kid a video games and all this stuff, and you're going to have a crappy kid eventually, right? But you get a kid a box, a giant box. He's entertained for hours, and he's nothing but grateful. Like, makes you think, right? So scale down, right? Minimize. That's what I did. I took away all the ideas of the character and all this work that I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to illustrate this? Because I started doing like, I try to use, was it Leonardo.ai or Mindjourney to create these images for my book originally, or at least get the character. And I was going to get like the character doing, what is it called? The story characters, it's called something, I forget now, where all the multiple characters are in different positions and stuff, and you can just drag and drop, and like move them around. And that's what I was going to initially do. But then I realized I don't really want that. Like, I just want it simple. So I made it all about a simple brushstroke. And so the story is just so simplistic, and it's like awesome because it's leaving room for the imagination for kids. And I love that. Like, I love it. And it works. It's working. My kids really love it. And then guess what? I'm an art teacher, so they're really excited. After we read the book, they get to go make the color indigo with their paintbrush. And indigo just gets to tell this story with their paintbrush. And that's all they have to do is do a little, and it's a story. So, less is more sometimes when it comes to at least children book making is what I'm learning, right? And I feel like it really, I think just because, I'm part of the community too, that helped. So I, of course, posted it on my social media, on my Facebook page, my Instagram, and I got awesome responses from so much support from my art teacher world with all my art teacher friends. Like, thank you so much, guys. Like, you have no idea how much it means to me. And then I also have my Facebook account with my personal friends, and I'm just like so grateful. So I'm super grateful that I had these two come together and support me on this book journey that I didn't even really think was going to be much of anything. And so far, I've made over 100 sales my first month. Now, I had my book really cheap for the first month, so we're talking about, I think I made $80 to $100, like around there. I'm up now to $40 more. So month 2, I'm starting to fizzle out. So I had all this hype online with my friends and my family, but I only have so many friends and family that are going to be interested in buying this book. I got about good 10 reviews on it, which is awesome. But then I decided now I got to merge into that marketing world that I really didn't enjoy doing as a job 10 years ago. And I started going into how to do an ad campaign. So I'm still learning. I did my first ad campaign this week. I had a ton of impressions, a few clicks, and zero sales, which is so disappointing. But the good news is that because there wasn't much there as far as that, like I thought like it was like kind of like Instagram, or they don't really take your whole $10 a day. Like, so I put $10 a day for each sale or whatever, but it only depends on who clicks and makes the impressions. See, I should know this stuff. I'm learning. All right. So I figured all that out, and now I'm like watching how it works. And then I researched like what happens when you don't get a positive response when you make an ad campaign, like crickets, right? Well, there could be 2 things that are going on with your book. And one of them was either your cover is not appealing, or you don't have a lot of reviews, or your book isn't really in a good niche. So those are things that I have to kind of fizzle through and figure out what is the issue. I do see that it is kind of a tough niche to get into when it comes to like art teaching books, books that like, you know, really merge from just not being entertaining to an art educator, but merging into the audience outside of that. So I got to bridge that gap. I'm actually going to be doing a book signing because I do art camps over the summer. So I'm going to be doing a book signing and like promoting my book in the local community, which is another good thing that I can do, right? So as an educator, I think book writing is amazing. So needless to say, KDP has been like the go-to for me, the most positive response, and honestly, it's built my confidence up. I had such a positive feedback from like all my friends, and I can't believe it. Like, really, I mean, I self-taught myself online. It took me about 2 weeks. I did it during winter break. I published it. And I can't believe like the response I got. Like people really like, and even my sister like, oh my gosh, you're a published author, you're on Amazon. Like I'm so cool. You know, it just gave me some sort of credibility that I didn't even think was going to happen. And I think that as people start realizing like anybody can do this, come on, maybe they won't be so wowed by me. But in the meantime, I'm lapping it up. I'm not gonna lie. It's great. It's great for my confidence because, you know, I don't think that I would have the motivation to keep going if I didn't get such a positive response. So that's where I'm at right now. I hope that whatever I am sharing helps anybody out there on your journey on searching online for passive income. I'm going to continue, like I said, to post every month. That's probably more ideal for me, but every week, and update you on my journey because every day I'm working towards trying to improve myself and make this passive income thing work. My husband works crazy hours. He's not home until bedtime. We're strangers in the night. I got a growing boy, a son that really needs his dad around. And I'm just really kind of emotionally fed up. And I want to get a breakthrough for my family. So that's honest, the God honest truth on why I decided to pursue this journey in the first place. So I know a lot of people come back and share on YouTube about how they've made it up to this level of success. But I wanted somebody to actually be in it, like the whole time, like sharing all the things, right? From like A to B, like the roller coaster when you were in it, because that's when it's authentic. So here I am being authentically honest with all of you on my journey. It has been overwhelmingly exciting. I've had so many roller coasters of what am I doing? I can't stop myself though. Like I'm just like so determined to find a breakthrough, and I'm hoping that I get to the end of my rainbow. All right, guys. Well, you have a wonderful day, whatever day it is for you. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. Bye.